Hello, this is Neil Norman, and welcome to Westcoasting with Joan and Corinne. Corinne and Trotter, Confidant of the Stars, is a Hollywood syndicated columnist for the Post newspaper group. Joan Agajanian Quinn is the former West Coast editor of Andy Warhol's Interview magazine and society editor of the Herald Examiner. Her cover stories are seen in Venice and Detour magazines as well as Angelus. Here they are now with the insight on society, entertainment, and the arts. These popular Beverly Hills journalists are on top of the exhilarating world of today's power players. Joan and Corinne.
Yay.
Hi, Corinne.
Hi, Joan.
What did I miss when we were in New York last week?
Oh, you missed the Hollywood Bowl with Singing in the Rain, a 6-hour marathon if you had to go before the traffic. And I sat up with the B-47s, the great press seats they gave me. But it was all right. It was just long. We didn't miss much, I froze to death.
What about the other party you
Oh,
went to?
there was a good one.
The Russian party.
The Russian party at Ann Archer's house. Ann is it played Michael Douglas's
What was
wife.
the name of that movie? Great movie.
Fatal Attraction. Right. Anyway, she opened her home to the first Soviet cast and crew that ever filmed in Hollywood in the last 20 years. And it was a barbecue. It was really nice. Bud Moss put it on. He's producing the movie. And that was a very enjoyable afternoon and evening. And it was nice to meet the Soviets. And her dog, Boxy, was playing with the spare ribs, and her son was having a great time. That was a good one.
That was good.
Yeah.
You went to a
No
screening?
hot gossip, though.
You went to a screening last night?
Yeah, but, oh, gosh, don't mention that, because I didn't like it.
Oh, you didn't like the movie?
No.
We won't talk about
Otherwise, they'll take me off the MPAA list, right?
Oh.
So don't mention it. The movie I did like was Presumed Innocent, but I'm sure you saw that in New York, right?
I saw it, and New York was great.
What did you see in New York, Joan?
Broadway is still alive. The
Really?
theaters were full.
Yeah.
Aspects of Love was very difficult to get tickets for.
Who's starring in that?
Oh, do you think I can remember?
Well, it was good. It was good.
The English cast.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We're getting a couple of plays from Broadway. We're getting Jerome Robbins' Broadway, and we're getting The Heidi Chronicles by Wendy Wasserstein. But the really hot, really good theater, and the hottest ticket, I think, was John Guar's new play, 6 Degrees of Separation. And it's at the Lincoln Center Theater, Vivian Beaumont Theater. And it's about modern-day New York life, but it's deeply philosophical, and it's done so well. It's a very small theater, and everyone's sitting in the... It's great.
But are they going to bring it out here, you're saying?
Well, we don't know if they're going to bring it. They're sold out into the fall. And I just was glad to be in New York kind of at the quiet time of the year and see the theater was still alive. And today, our guest started her career in New York and came to Hollywood.
You mean the fabulous Pat Crowley?
That's
The girl who needs no introduction, the lady with the legs?
Hello, girls. How are you doing?
Thank you for coming. We appreciate
Getting
it.
all the news on what's going on in both coasts here.
Well,
Yeah.
you're going to need it, Pat. You're going back to New York for a while?
Yes,
Again?
I was just there. Again, I'm from New York. You're right, and I did started out, the theater started out in summer stock back here as a kid, and then did 3 Broadway plays. But I was just there about a week ago, and you're right. Isn't it nice in the summer? They all say avoid New York in the summer, but it was great because it wasn't crowded. Everybody else got out, so we had the city to ourselves. But the theaters were crowded. I saw City of Angels.
Oh, so we saw City of Angels, too. Wasn't it wonderful?
Fabulous.
Is that about Los Angeles?
Yes. Isn't
in
that
the
it? It's
40s.
about filming. Yes, in the 40s. It's hard to explain what it's about. But
Chinatown left off, or what?
Well, a little. It has a little of
it's
that.
Hollywood. It's the filming of a mystery novel that the writer. But
Do they knock
so many
Hollywood? Because
shows
Broadway
within
always
shows.
knocks Hollywood. You go to a Broadway play, they always knock Hollywood. You ever notice that?
Pretty much, yeah.
They have nothing
do in
else
a
to
way.
knock.
But
Anyway.
I think the really beauty of this play was it was in black and white and color, which is how movies are made, in black and white and color.
Well, and it's Larry Gelbart's brilliant script, and of course Cy Coleman's music, which is
jazz, which is unusual, really, for the whole show to be that. And the cast was just.
So why didn't you mention that? I would never know that.
I haven't seen the two that she mentioned, and I do want to see those. That's good. But we have a lot of great theater out here, too.
I did see City of Angels twice, in
Yes, you need to see it twice. You miss so much,
I
don't
don't
you?
know it as well as Pat. Are you planning to take one of those roles?
Oh boy, aren't they great roles? No, I don't think I'm right for those, but I did tell my friend Melody Rogers to check in on that one or a couple of roles. She'd be wonderful.
Can
for.
you sing?
I used to sing, sure.
Do you think?
Yeah,
She
I
dances
did
too. I've seen her dance. Yeah.
Well,
I met you in
we take
Vegas
classes.
in about when you were doing Please Don't Eat the
That's
Daisies.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that big dog, that had that big white dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dog, because you were really the leading lady in Las Vegas for many years there. That's right. That's when I met you.
Yeah, it was kind of a hick town then, but I always liked Vegas. You know,
it was a good.
now it's a big metropolis. In fact, my girlfriend's coming in to visit me this week from Vegas. But the people are real nice there. They're real homespun, down to earth,
been a good.
nice people. Anyway, I remember meeting you then. I thought, oh boy, Pat Crowley.
Long time ago.
Yeah, but how do you keep your figure like this? I mean, you have an 18-year-old's figure. You're fabulous.
Thank you. You should talk. But if I owe it to anything, it's to a class that I have taken for over 20 years.
Oh, well, tell our listeners.
Joan Quinn is in it. It's just the best class. It's,
what's
Tanya Lachine teaches it, and it's in Beverly Hills, and it's at 9 o'clock, which is a great time.
Yeah.
And it's a ballet stretch class. You never get hurt. I've tried everything else. I tried the aerobics. I even tried the gymnastics. I've tried all the different types of exercise, and I always come back to this class because it's the safest, and I think it's the best. And it's also very uplifting. We have
do you do bar exercises there? And you know, maybe if our show gets rolling, we could go in with a camera and take a picture of all these famous ladies, you know, on the bar with their ballet slippers on and no makeup on. Wouldn't that be fun?
It's fun, and that's the way we are, really raw. I don't know. That's our little private sanctuary.
You could all wear your tutus, you know, and I could show you how you walk. You
We've
know.
been rehearsing for our recital.
For our recital, the oldest living
20 years
recital group you ever saw.
When we do our recital, we can have it.
Well, you really take your ballet seriously, you know.
I think it's part of modern day life.
Well, you know, Joan has a natural, very high extension and very good turnout. She can do a split on both sides, which I cannot do. And after we do all the stretches, she does that.
Oh, now I know why she's so successful with magazines and newspapers. You got to do splits.
This is it. But Pat has a great backhand.
Yeah?
Backhand.
You mean in tennis?
On tennis.
Oh, I thought you meant in the class.
No,
well, I don't know about that either, but
I do
play
tennis.
tennis. Yes, I've taken up golf again recently, and it's just
fun.
as bad as it was the first time.
Is it fun, though?
It is the hardest. It's the only sport that you start off playing poorly and you get worse. I can't get better at this game.
But one other
The jealous mistress.
One other role, Please Don't Eat the Daisies, you were the mother.
The mother.
And now when we started the Generation, you were the mother again.
I was the grandmother in that.
No.
Yes.
No.
Well, I am a grandmother, you know.
Well, so is Jackie O, you know. It's the chicest thing to be this year.
It's hard to
You've got a long way to go, because you're a little...
I don't know, not the way he's going.
Oh.
Any minute now, you know.
How old is you?
He's 12, but he's dating 16-year-olds. So.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. And
But
Joan,
I
you
just
have
tease
twins.
about it.
My girls are old enough right now. I don't think I
They're
could
too
do it.
smart to get married right away,
I can't do it
right?
the way Pat does it. She does everything. You really are the epitome of the modern woman.
Yeah.
As far as athletics, taking care of your family, moving back and forth, your career, babies slobbering all over you. I saw little Eddie, your grandson.
Yeah. Oh, well, and I have a granddaughter, Erin, with the shock of red hair. She's 3 months now. Erin. And she is just a doll. And then Anne, who has
your daughter.
Eddie, who has my Eddie, is having another one next month. So we'll have 3 under the age of 2.
Do you have a personal philosophy that you'd like to share with the listeners that gives you this kind of energy and this youthful exuberance?
Oh,
well, I mean, what keeps you going, Pat?
I don't know.
You just
probably I guess maybe coming from New York and that energy. I noticed it when I was back there. There's just a wonderful feeling about people moving faster, and there's, you know, rubbing shoulders with everybody. And, there's
keeping ahead of the hoofbeats, I always say. Yeah.
But the one thing that Pat does do, I know, along with all of this, is she gives back to the community. What I think you feel a very strong part of the community.
Well, I do think it's I think everybody does in their own way.
A lot of people don't.
And you've been working for...
And Joan does, I know.
Share?
Well, I've been a member of Share for a long time, although Share was around a long time before I got into it. And there have been certainly a lot of other causes that I care a lot about. Most recently, the one that I've really got caught up in, through our ballet class, as a matter of fact, is this group that, it's the Southern California Ballet of the Sun, that this wonderful young girl, she's 19 years old, she's won competitions all around the world, Helena Ross. She works in conjunction with this wonderful ballet company that she's beginning, which takes a lot of guts to begin a ballet company in the first place, but she works with it with children in the community down in Lafayette and MacArthur Parks, which are, as you know, a very difficult part of town.
Very.
Ghetto part.
And these kids
I roll up the windows, lock the car, you know.
But she goes there and she works with these youngsters. She's brought in wonderful dancers from Los Angeles to go in
and teaches them ballet?
Teach the children and integrates them into the performances. And so I think
so
it's
you
something...
put your energy behind that?
I've tried to help her, and we did a Russian tea recently for Tanya Lasheen in conjunction with fundraising for this. Joan was very active in that as well, and it really worked out.
Are the kids interested in taking ballet and learning how to move?
Fabulous. And you're going to meet Helena Ross.
Well, I hope so.
And she is so articulate, and she can really explain what's going on, because Los Angeles is the most unusual city in that it has every culture represented here. And yet it's not really presented in a way where it's all there together, and that's what that's what she's doing.
She's working that way. The same thing that Peter Sellers, who's taken the LA Festival together and shown all the cultures that are here in the city. She just happened to take one a culture that's been here for a long time, that Hispanic culture. We're working in the with Peter Sellers, the Pacific Rim, and when we come back in a few minutes, we'll meet Helena Ross. And she'll tell us about what's going on. Don't go away.
Hello. I didn't want to do that, but I'm doing it. Okay, Joan.
We're back.
Tell us about our next guest.
We're back again, and we have Helena Ross, the artistic director from the Southern California Ballet of the Sun. Helena, welcome.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We know from what Pat said earlier that you have a company, I guess.
It's actually Tanya Lasheen's company. She's the one who founded it in 1968, and Joan was involved with it. She probably knows more about the history of the company than I do.
But you've taken a different step. You've moved a little bit into the community,
we
so
have.
to speak.
Now, if a mother, excuse me for interrupting you, but if a mother wanted to send her children down there, what classes do you have, what hours, how would they call to get information?
We have a number for information which goes all the time, and we have to go in little installments according to how the funding procedures go. But we're trying to work on having a year-round program there. I just got the California Arts Council grant, and I'm an artist in residence.
Wonder how you got that. Joan's on the council.
Yeah, she advised that I should apply, and I'll have I guess I'll be in residency at MacArthur Park. I'll just live out there with the homeless. It's brings me closer to them. But we're trying to we have ballet classes for the girls. We have folklorico, folk
And this is all free?
All free. That's we
Wow.
really learned. That's the way we have to go. Because we don't want to rule out the kids who don't have parents supporting them and paying for classes. So these kids can just walk in right off the street and try a folklorico class or try ethnic music. The boys have the gymnastics and the circus arts.
Really?
They clown around, do juggling. We have professional jugglers working with them. So we try to have that like 3 times a week. We'd love to have more, but it's a good start.
Helena, tell us where exactly. Do you have a studio down there?
We're working out of the Lafayette Park Senior Citizen Center, and seniors have it until about 3, and some of them are great sports. They stay after 3, and they help us. We have Florence Lamont, who's an ex-Broadway designer. She did some of the masks for Lute Song. And she stays after. She's been associate director of the senior center.
Oh, that's great.
Well, it's a wonderful coming together of the older, of the senior citizens and the children, because they can offer so much to the children.
They sure can, and the seniors are just as diverse culturally as the children are. So you get this great understanding. This Filipino lady raised in China who teaches the Hispanic kids ribbon dancing, and there's some common denominator, which is the arts and humanity, that comes through between these seniors and the kids. Often the kids don't have really a lot of parental attention, and these are great grandmother role models and grandfathers. You know, so it's a wonderful, it brings people together.
Yeah, when you were a kid, did you take classes like that, or they weren't?
I started, as a matter of fact, I started in Chateau Park.
You did?
At a recreation center when I was 3.
You're a kid, and you raised all the way to the top to a prima ballerina?
My family really couldn't have afforded it if it weren't for the scholarship that Tanya Lachine gave me.
And look how she's getting
now she's giving back.
And
that's
the children are learning that, and then hopefully they'll give back to the
Isn't that wonderful?
Well,
You're passing it along.
I think that's important. I mean, in many other countries, we have government-subsidized schools. We don't have that here, so we have to, as individuals, get together and let's provide the arts for these people who can't afford it. It's a wonderful way for kids to get self-confidence, to find a place in society. You know, really.
It's called hope, too. I mean, it really is giving these kids hope and something to do after school. And this facility was empty after that, yet they were keeping it locked up to kids. Now, under their supervision, and she's bringing the finest dancers. And some of the dancers are sensational.
Yeah.
They all
Tell
are.
us about the dancers.
Yeah, we have Vitaly and Alla Artyushkina, who are from the Bolshoi, and they're going to be they're here living in Southern California. They've been here a year. They have their little daughter Katya living with them.
Are they coming to the center to teach?
They're going to be involved. They're going to be principals in the upcoming Sleeping Beauty. We're aiming for a big festival at MacArthur Park in the end of October, and we're going to get the security there. The police are working really hard now to clean up the park.
They're very supportive of all of this, of course.
They certainly are. They're wonderful. They've got mounted police on horseback, which adds a little flavor to it.
Yeah, that's fun.
They've been in the park, and the park is a wonderful...
Why haven't I read any press on this?
There has been.
We only hear the bad press. We want to hear the good things that are happening there.
It should be
But you know, these children are from gang. I mean, their brothers and so forth are gang members. But this is wonderful. This gives them a real feeling of people are interested in them.
But it
care
takes
about
somebody
them.
like you to really go down there and
Someone
do that.
crazy.
It makes it fun. I mean, that's fun to get out on stage.
It
These kids, some of the gang members were on stage in the productions they've done before, and there's nothing like the sound of applause and the appreciation, the attention you get.
Certainly.
That, you know, takes the
They
place
were living day to day, and this gives them a goal that reaches beyond the footlights, something to look forward to a tomorrow and a week after. Our first trip to the music center, we took a load of these boys, and they didn't feel that was a place for them. They said they didn't want to get out of the van. They said, we don't belong here. We'd like to have those places belong to those people who really need a performance. They need the art to enrich their lives. And to understand what's really great, I learn as much from these kids as they learn from me. I learn about all the cultures, about the Chinese, about the Filipinos, the Koreans, the blacks, the Hispanics. I learned about the rich source of culture here in Los Angeles, which can be brought together, and let's bring that onto stage. Let's use kabuki effects. I'm trying to do something with torchlight. I really want to see a form of ballet for the people which reaches across and brings them into the performance.
But you see why she's such a perfect person to be an artist in residence, because she is right down there with the people that we're trying to involve, people who don't feel they can go to the music center, who don't feel they're a part of those things. You've gone into that community, and those are the kind of programs that the California Arts Council wants to fund. Also, the city, Los Angeles City's been very helpful, haven't they?
Joan, they want to show
tape. Her
Well,
Robert's
let's
tape.
show this tape because
Yes.
this shows what kind of expertise she has for going into the community and being the artistic director at such a young age.
Okay. Why don't we roll that in?
Okay.
This is a competition when she was 17 years old.
Which was only 3 years ago.
Right.
Yep. Just turned the big 2-0.
Did you?
Happy
That's right,
birthday.
a couple weeks ago. Yeah,
And
this-
she went there with, and her partner that she'd rehearsed with for 6 months never showed up. So
that was frightening.
So tell us what happened.
Well, in this competition, I was about to head right back to Los Angeles, but the principal dancer in all of China, a very tall, wonderful man, was offered by the Chinese team as a symbol of diplomacy and good relations between the United States and China. It became sort of a political event, and they offered up this partner who already had his own competing partner, and he offered to stay and partner me for the competition with very little rehearsal. We had,
like about 2 hours
yes,
at the most?
probably less.
But, as opposed to 6 months?
He
That's
already
right.
went through his competition
He
and
certainly
then
did.
stayed for you?
That's right.
Aw.
He was wonderful. He won the Best Partner Award very deservingly.
And she won the best overall dancer. Without the partner she was scheduled to go
That
with.
was a surprise.
She won the competition.
That was a surprise. It was quite an ordeal. It really worked out for the better in the end. Hopefully not to be duplicated, though. It was.
And are
fun
you going to be
experience.
working on anything professionally?
Well, this
Well,
is the company.
That's right. We're trying to get. I do Nutcracker, and I do the performances every year with the Long Beach Ballet Company, and we're trying to work out I really feel it's important to cooperate with other existing groups. So we're trying to share a season and keep dancers employed year-round here. Let's offer up, something that the Bolshoi dancers can have a participation in.
Who have you taken classes from? Because I know you've been trained by many fine Russian.
Well, actually,
dancers.
I've done a lot of work through videos. I've looked up with Dwight Grell, who has been recently seen throwing those flowers at the Bolshoi performances.
I did see him.
Dwight is a wonderful. He has a collection of Russian Bolshoi and Kirov films. Some of them very rare. And every competition, I camp out at poor Dwight's, little back pavilion. I learn my repertoire from that, and I've studied the Kirov tapes. And we're trying to put the Russian system, which has lovely upper body work. I really like that it emphasizes the artistry and the expression, the acting half of it. So we're trying to use some of those. Some of the Russian system in the inner city program to provide them with a very thorough, training, not just the legs, but the upper body and expression and the eyes.
So the small nuances
That's
you can
right.
pick up from the tape?
Well, what's interesting is there's something universal about that. The Russian ballet system really emphasizes the eyes and the expression, but so does Eastern dance, so does Kathakali. I just came from a few classes. There's a lot of use of eye and mouth and eyebrow and film. That's right.
But
But this
how much it
reads.
can convey.
It really
just the
reads. You
expression.
can just imagine the flickering light on these, incredible
I
facial
can hardly wait.
expressions.
Because they use the torches, That's where
they
they
use the
incorporate the
colors.
lighting or the
That's
torches,
right.
which are movement.
It really brings the inner quality of the artist forward to the audience. Not just the technician, not just the machine, but the person inside has to come through. There's no hiding it from the audience this way. So that's actually very good for the children because they learn that they have to bring out their feelings.
Do you make them work out, stretch?
They work hard, but we don't make them. We try to take a really positive. I learned this with these children that they are told from the time they're small they are no good. They're told by the police that they're illegal. They're told by, there's a lot of negative that they hear about themselves. So we really try to emphasize telling them how good they are at something and make them want to work hard. It's really wonderful. Some of them rebel in the beginning and they don't want to stretch. And then they see the others stretching and then they see how good the others start to look in those steps and they start to want to stretch. They start to want to go through the work. It's really, it gives them
How
discipline.
many hours a day do you work out?
Ooh. Well, if I'm in training for something like a competition,
Right,
in that
right.
9 o'clock class, the best warm-up, and the professionals
She actually
take that
is in
too.
our class.
She comes
you
to
can
our
imagine.
What a wonderful class.
She comes to the class, this 20-year-old comes to this class.
Yes,
It's the best
yes,
warm-up.
yes.
It's the best kept
Oh,
secret
yes.
for the professional
And Tanya
dancers.
Lachine is the best teacher.
She
Just
really
divine.
inspires.
Hey, we're going to
Inspires.
have to get a camera in there.
That's right. It's a lot of fun. And having wonderful people like Joan and Pat there,
Yeah,
it's a good start for
I'd
the
give
morning.
up
It
if I
is.
started
It's a great
watching you
jump
and her
start.
graceful moves.
No, she's
No,
wonderful. The one thing I think that Helena did bring out, and I know we've never been privy to it, are those great character classes that they teach in Russia.
Right, that's
And
right. The folk dance is such an important tradition even there. It really is. And you have, I mean, that brings you a certain, it brings you a closeness with the people. It takes the classical art form and finds a transition into the people's art forms as well.
But you're transferring the people who are working with you, their form of dance into the character and into that.
And we're trying
so they
to,
can feel more comfortable.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're trying to encourage the people, the seniors, the children, the area residents, the business people, to really have an input into the art form and therefore feel something coming out of it. We're trying to get some of the seniors to help make the Chinese opera headpieces, you know, the kabuki outfits. We're getting
backdrops
the backdrops, but we're actually de-emphasizing backdrops. We're putting it mainly into costumes so that we can tour it to other
Move it
people.
around so we...
Do you get people to donate you clothes so you can make costumes?
Well, not yet. We're getting into the production aspect now. We'd welcome anything, but we're working with little
Well, because a lot of people have old costumes sitting around their attics, and they may
just
very
take
well.
whatever we get. That would be
you
great.
know,
Yeah.
they can
but
bring it
there's a
down.
wonderful homeless activist who works with the people who are the homeless, and he's already getting those people working on the sets and the costumes.
Great.
So we really
Great.
think that this is something that everyone can have a piece of and share in the profits, share in the feeling of a park that was once ignored, share in that feeling of community, bring the people together and say, we love this park, we care about our neighborhood. We may not have much, but we care about our park.
Oh, I can see you care. You are evangelistic, but it's great for the kids.
I think it's really important, and it's down near Otis Parsons School.
That's right, and there's the art school there. There's wonderful resources there.
Yes, and Al Nodell was very instrumental in putting art into the park.
He's the one who started. He has a book called The Arts Made the Difference, and that made a difference to me.
Art Nodell was the gallery director. He's now the head of our cultural commission in Los Angeles.
That's right.
And he has made a difference, and he's helped a lot with Helena and opening the doors down there. And we had Assemblyman Roos helped
That's
you,
right.
I think. We had a lot of political help. And
It's wonderful.
It's working.
It is.
And we want you to keep working at it.
Yeah.
We're going to try.
Yeah, if we ever get a remote camera, we'll come down and see
No,
it.
we're going to try to get an event there with all the security. We'd like for these people, these special people who do care, who have hearts, to get a chance to see what's happening in a safe environment, safety in numbers.
Yeah.
To say hello.
Oh, thank you so much for coming, Helena and Pat.
Oh,
please
thanks
come
for
see
the
us
opportunity.
again.
I had a good time. You guys are fun.
Thanks, Helena.
Thank you.
And if someone wants to has a charity like Helena's, they can
send me a press release on it or just type it up and let us know. Joan and I have a post office box that you'll see on the screen when it rolls. And I think it's 0488BH 90213. And let us know, because we do want to hear about the things that are important to you, and we'll try to get them in print for you.
Great. Thank
See
you.
you next week, kid.
Bye.